Ed.
Boom, we're back. What is up, guys? Fashionably late as always, Mr. Yin. It is very nice to have you back again, man. How you been doing?
Good, brother. How are you?
About as good can get, I suppose. I mean, I can't complain. Actually, you know what? You know what, man? I'll just be honest, dude. Uh, I think I might be dooming, man. I think I might be dooming, bro. I needed to talk. I wanted to talk to you about this tonight because I want to make sure that I'm not just like seeing things that aren't happening. And
Mm,
speaking of, and it's probably along the same kind of like topic lines. So, you know how like and this is in Minecraft, of course, not in like the
mm,
real world. You know
mm,
how like in Minecraft, the society in Minecraft, they have this like media organization, and it's like multiple different organizations, but they're all kind of on the same page,
mm.
and they have this tendency to be like, okay, everybody, notice how the sky is iridescent black, and you're like, no, I, it looks blue to me.
This
No, you're crazy. It's black and iridescent. No, Are you sure? Because I'm looking at it and it looks like it's blue. No, it's like this purpley black iridescent color. Are you dumb? You know they have the tendency to kind of like do the kind of gaslighting thing.
mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if I'm on the inverse of that. If I'm like, no, wait a second, no, that is happening because blah 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 blah. But I, basically, I hope I'm just not dooming. But I guess we can talk about that tonight.
Mm-hmm. I mean, uh, I don't think you're dooming. I think you're on point because we're on this weird precipice. It's like this culture war turned into like this. It just like turned into this mutated thing. It's kind of out of control. You can't escape it. You can't go to the grocery store and have normal conversations anymore. It's affected our economy. I mean, just buying some eggs now is becoming political. I mean, look at the price of them eggs. The eggs used to be like $1.99, and now it's $5.39 or something. I couldn't even believe. I mean, if that doesn't blackmail, yeah. I mean, nothing will. Then you're impervious. That's like the egg test.
I don't know how much in the chat in my chat if you've been paying attention to Christian Soto's like egg posts.
Mm.
Uh, and Christian, I'm sorry if I doxed you, so we'll just call you Schmishman Schmodo. I don't think he cares. But anyway, he is a we'll just say that he works for like a large kind of like mega type of grocery store distributing organization.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's always posting these egg prices in our chat.
Mm-hmm.
And the organization slash company that he works for in particular, they do and always have sold these like it's like a crate of like eggs. It's like a big crate.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how many is in there. I think it's probably like it's definitely more than 24. Like there's like it's like three layers of like a flat 24 on top of 24 on top of 24. So whatever that is. I don't know, Christian. I'm probably wrong about the number. But anyway, when I was in high school, sorry, when I was in college, so when I was like a junior, senior in college, they were about $6 or $8 for this whole thing. And it's like a whole mess of eggs, dude. It's literally like a giant fucking crate. I said the F
Mm-hmm.
word. Oh no, of eggs, right? And he was been posting prices of those eggs back and forth for the last couple of months, and it's been going anywhere between like $12, $16, $28,
Oh my
back down to
god.
16, down to 12, down to like 18. It's like the prices don't even make sense for fucking eggs, dude. And one of the things that I was kind of been doing about recently is, how if you have like a certain, let's just say you're a Zoomer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have some kind of like life plan. God forbid a Zoomer has a life plan. I know, so it's probably not an actual case going on here, but let's just say you're a Zoomer who happen to actually want to have a life plan, and you're trying to accommodate for that financially in your life, right?
Mm-hmm.
How can you have a long term perspective, or how can you even make a plan for something long term when like prices of eggs are like plus 75%, minus 75% on a daily basis? Like what do you think about that, man?
I it's it's scary, dude. Like it's like the stability. I think of it like the stability. It's like a ratio, right? Stability and is hinged on what you can see yourself doing, right? If you can see yourself buying a house, then you're going to feel like you have a good grasp of life, like you're on your way somewhere good, right? You're on your way up to the top. You have hope. You're going to ape into hope as opposed to like feel despondent, right? Feel despair. Whereas like if little things, so like if you look at little things, you know, and you can't even afford the the little stuff, yeah, you're going to feel super despondent right out the gate. You're not even going to feel empowered to do other things like, oh, I'm gonna go buy a car. Well, I can't even buy eggs right now. How can I afford a car? Like it, you know. So Kyle W in the chat said the eggflation charts. Yeah, I'm gonna call it eggflation. Thanks. Yeah, the eggflation's out of control. So now the kids out here are gonna feel like and these kids already have confidence issues from
social media.
Yeah, from social media, bad parenting, you name it. Like there's so many avenues of why that's a whole other topic, but
Oh yeah.
they're already having confidence issues. So seeing like living through this new era of pricing, it's gonna cause a major blow to what they're visualizing they can achieve. And what you achieve is gonna be a result of a lot of what you believe in you are capable of. If you don't believe you're capable of doing something, you're not even going to try it. So you're going to see a lot of people not trying a lot of things and just being complacent and staying in the same class system that they're in, as opposed to trying to get to that next class, and that's going to cause a major cascade across the, a lot of other services, right? Like, college, self-help, you name the industry is probably going to be negatively affected by by their actions or inactions. So I like to look at eggs because it's such a simple, small, minute thing that you don't, you would consider it to be, kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Insignificant. But when you zoom out and look at the macro of everything, like you look at the entire field of everything, it's actually pretty fucked up. Pardon my French. I mean, it's pretty bad. It says a lot about our culture.
Well, yeah, man. I mean, like I said, if you have a grocery list. So let's even forget about the long-term thinking. Like, hey, I want to buy this house. Hey, I want to buy this, build this type of business. It's gonna, hey, I want to start a farm. It's gonna cost me like $4 million. Like, whatever kind of like long-term perspective you have, and you'd be using these numbers as some sort of like tangible, somewhat finite metric to aim for, and you're accommodating your life for that. But if eggs can't even stay the same price on a day-to-day basis, like, and you know what, dude, like I would like if eggs were like up 5 cents a day and down 5 cents a day because of like shipment and stuff like that, I mean, like, no one would even notice that. But I'm not, this is eggs like moving $5, $6, $7, $8, $9 up and down on a daily basis. Something like that's got to be, red flags should be going off people's heads when they see that kind of stuff. It doesn't make sense. So if you take that same thing and you apply it to like a house or a car or literally anything that you want in life that's a goal that might cost you money, how can you do that? And like you were saying, people are just gonna maybe opt out. They're gonna say, well, like I can't even formulate a proper plan I can't even fantasize properly about what I want to do because I don't even know like if it's gonna be like feasible and by tomorrow, or if B, like, hey, maybe there is no eggs in the next day. You know what I mean? No, yeah, like I don't want to keep harping on the egg thing, but I mean, I know that and that I know that like what we mean by that. It's literally everything. It's everything right now. So, speaking of prices going up and down on things, let's talk about Mr. I don't know if we should say his name, Mr. SBF.
Mr. I don't even have a nickname for him yet.
The man that is a bank fraudster, Mr.
That's right.
Sam Fraud Bankster. So FTX, dude.
Yep.
So the FTX rug, dude. If you will, would you mind giving people here like a tiny breakdown, small overview of what happened with that for those who might not know?
Okay, so imagine Mashinsky, but way, way worse. That's like the super That's like the super short term, but I'm gonna expand on that. So imagine if you, yeah, that's like if you told me in 5 words, I'd be like Mashinsky, but way, way
But
worse.
worse.
But way, way worse. Like it has affected. I mean, people really saw FTX as an exchange that was safe, and I freaking knew that was like the number one thing I knew. If someone says the word safe, that's my red flag. Ding, ding,
It's
ding.
the
I'm
opposite.
not using that.
Yep.
I'm like the opposite. I have the reverse effect. It's like the Streisand effect. If you tell me, Ian, this is a safe place to use your money, I'd be like, I'm out. Because that's what happened with me in Celsius. I thought,
Celsius.
oh, it
Yep.
was safe until it wasn't. And I was like, all right, let me get my stuff out. But my point is, it happened to the entire field, the entire cryptosphere is what I'm calling it now. The entire cryptosphere was completely 100% taken aback when they realized their home base, which is what I noticed crypto Twitter used a lot, was a big giant honeypot. You know, honey, is that the word? Is that the
Yeah.
term? Honeypot? Okay.
Yeah.
just want to make sure I'm not making up words now.
I
He's
know
just
what
making
you're
up
saying.
words now.
Yeah, we can do that too. That's fine. We
So
kind of have to sometimes, right?
at this point, yeah, we do. So it was a big giant honeypot because here's the thing. I had like a chart a while ago. One day I'll print out the chart at some point. I'm gonna have like a giant chart behind me. This is the chart. No. So Sam Bankman, I shouldn't have said his goddamn name. Pardon my French. So
May as well,
Sam,
dude.
we'll just say
Just say
Sam.
it. Sam.
So Sam he had two companies. He had an exchange called FTX. People used it. They thought it was safe to use. A lot of other tokens he had were tied to it. And then he had another company called Alameda. Alameda was a trading firm. What they specialized in was they took VC venture capital and they gathered it all up together, kind of like a hedge fund, and they would just trade to make more money. Imagine if somebody was doing that, but really, if you look at the spreadsheet, they were making it all up. They weren't really trading and making like actual gains. They were losing money. They were hemorrhaging money. And it all tied to one person who was in charge of those overall trades. She was like the head of Alameda, and her name was is it Caroline? Caroline.
Sweet
Yeah.
Caroline.
Yeah.
Oh.
Cody Mouse says Jordan Belfort, but not a Samp.
I saw that. That was a good one. That was a good one. A good way to explain
Oh,
it, I
that's good. Oh, you got me good there. I didn't know Sam had a pack name Protect Our Future. I didn't know that. That's creepy. So Sam was involved in a lot of projects.
Yeah, this guy Phil's right. I did read a little bit about that, and you're right, Ian. He was involved in quite a bit of projects, man.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of weird because like personally, dude, I FTX was never even on my mind until there was a certain group of people that were telling people about it, if you know what I'm saying. I know that you know what I'm saying.
Yep.
And I didn't even think about it. And next thing you know, shortly after I moved to Miami, there's like the arena is now the FTX arena, and I'm seeing it on a Super Bowl commercial. I'm seeing it all over the place. I'm like, dude, how did this, like, if you go back and you think about like the Winklevoss twins, and like all the, and this might be F and G, it might be fake of what they went through with the whole Facebook, I don't know, thing, right? But all the stuff they had to go through just to be able to have an exchange like Gemini, and all the stories from Brian Armstrong and blah blah blah, all this stuff, lots of like strife to become a success. None of it was like overnight, quote unquote, right? But it kind of seemed like this dude Sam kind of was like an overnight success. He kind of popped up out of nowhere, right?
Yep.
Did that not seem sus?
No, absolutely, dude. I was like, who is this guy and why is his name everywhere? It last every time I was doing research of like, especially when I was looking up stuff like about Mashinsky or whatever, right? For the show when I was talking about Mashinsky. Sam Bankman's popped up maybe at least 20 times every time. Like it would be like pages upon pages. Even platforms that don't really like him were talking about him, like Zero Hedge and you know, there were a lot of websites that were like they had news stories about him, something else he was doing. It was almost like he had his hands in so many pies that you couldn't really keep track. It was maybe it was a way to obfuscate what he was doing, like in the back end, which in the back end, Jesus Christ, the stuff that he was doing in the secret, in behind the curtains, right? He didn't want people to keep track of, like, in a way, it was like a distraction, right? He didn't have all his ducks in a row. He wasn't actually making money in these trades, him and Caroline, right? He's running an exchange. He's in the negative, but he still has all of these, like, people buying FTT, buying Serum, buying Solana. So he still can kind of keep the grift going. He can kind of keep the Ponzi going. And that's really the number one rule of a Ponzi is you got to keep it moving. You got to keep it flowing.
Sure,
as
yeah.
long as you can keep doing that, then you should be, theoretically speaking, you should be good. But I don't think he took into account a lot of things like, CZ, pulling the rug from him with the.
Do you think that was a INSIDE JOB or some sort of like FALSE thing that you wave in the air? What do you think about that? Because that was kind of like a perfect timing for when it all happened, right?
I think CZ, what happened was CZ was the what's the term I'm looking for? He was the wild card. They did not predict happening. Like, he was set to buy that platform to save, basically. Like, Sam's job was to do a slow rug to escape, right? To sell it and walk away. That was his plan, right? Unfortunately,
do you think so? So you think that he was well, first of all, I guess you think he was competent to pull that off without getting caught and stuff? Or at least he thought that he was?
He thought he was. That's the thing.
Okay.
He's very gamma in that way. Maybe I shouldn't use that term, but yeah, he's very deluded in that way. I mean, he kind of knew the jig was up. There's an interview with him, and I forgot who he's interviewing. Who's interviewing him? I forgot what platform, but it's on YouTube where he's just shaking. I don't know if you've seen that clip where he's shaking.
Yeah. It was a couple different like news interviews. Actually, it was like 2 or 3 of them that he was.
Yeah, that had to be the moment where he had to have a buyer. Like, that's probably the moment he knew, oh, I have to have a buyer. I have to sell this thing and walk away. That's probably the time he realized Caroline wasn't in the green, which I don't know why he would assume she would be good at it, but he must have somehow assumed she would be good at the trading. And
you see this?
That fell apart.
Phil says SBS brother Gabe Bankman-Fried created Guardians Against Pandemics, nonprofit 501c. Hey, I saw that he was or I think it was Alameda was responsible for funding this Guardians Against the Pandemic thing. I didn't know that his brother created it. But I know about his mom. Right? Or was it? It was his mom that was a professor at. Dude, my dad, like, this morning, my dad came up to me and he was like, "Did you know that his mom was a professor at MIT?" And I was like, "Yeah." And also, so was the CEO, whatever Caroline's position title was. I mean, it was fake anyway, right? But her dad happened to also be a professor at MIT, who happened to also be like very good friends with good old Gary Gensler. Really strange, right? And Gary Gensler is supposed to be one of the toughest, most stringent individuals out there. And dude, so that's why I've been wondering, man, was this set up to blow from the start? Did Sam mess it up, like you were talking about, or is it somewhere in the middle where perhaps like they had a termination date on it and like afterwards they could use that as a means to try to regulate cryptocurrency because the bad cryptocurrency, it's taking money from people. And you know what, before I forget that, I want to say this too. The funny thing is, most people, and the normies aren't going to understand this. Well, they could understand it, but they don't know this. And they certainly aren't thinking about it like this. What was the original intention of Bitcoin? The first real, so the first cryptocurrency that actually took up like mass adaptation.
Wasn't it to rug the banks and have your own money as a custodian, be your own
Yeah.
custodian. Yeah.
Basically, peer-to-peer electronic cash system that is kind of like quote unquote self-sustainable, although it's not truly self-sustainable. Nothing is in life. But yeah, it was basically a means to exit the system, exit stage left, right? Meanwhile, we have all these exchanges and things like Celsius, because Celsius wasn't really an exchange, right? They were just basically like a cyber bank, a crypto bank.
Yeah.
They just put all that right back into where it came from, for where it tried to, from where its original intention was to not do, and boom, oh yeah, look at that, it's bad. If anything, you would take a look at that and say, like, if that's what happens with this stuff, then like what's going on with the banks that's got like a lot more money that we might not know about.
You know what's really funny? I did a video last year, a stream last year, where I talk about where Celsius does with your money. And I remember he did give it to Sam Bankman. He did. It goes up to the corner on the right. It converts into whatever token is valuable on that exchange, and then swaps it for ETH, and then sends it back to you. You know, and that's eye-opening now. I gotta watch my own episode now. Be like, oh my god, I can't believe it. You know, it's kind of crazy. Lord have mercy. It's kind of crazy, especially all the projects he was in, like you said, like Democratic Party of, I forgot what the PAC was that his mom ran. Some sort of like
there was a lot of, like, dude, if you go down and just start going up the tree and just start snooping around, there's and this is all like information that's kind of like on like national mainstream news now, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, they're leaving out a lot of parts about it, like what Mr. Phil Me was talking about in the chat a couple minutes ago. He says, yes, Alameda funded $12 million to GAP. GAP, as in like the clothing store, or what does it mean? Could you verify?
Vetted and endorsed.
GAP vetted and endorsed candidates that are champions for pandemic prevention. Okay. Yeah. And so, Phil, correct me if I'm wrong, but basically this was 2019, right? When this like was getting created. So before some kind of like magical thing in the air and Minecraft was floating around, and all of a sudden all the businesses in Minecraft were closed, and everyone had to wear like some kind of like cloth device on their face in Minecraft, though, right? I think this is in 2019, right? Sam says, Mr. Sam Perchinsky, not Sam Bankman-Fried. Mr. Sam Perchinsky says, it magically blew up on election day after they got what they wanted. Yeah, so that part is what kind of like sussed me out, right?
Yeah.
So, real quick, because I think this is important too. SBF's mom runs Mind the Gap. Guardians Against Pandemic. Yes, 2019. Okay. So yeah, kind of weird, right? Kind of weird. And if you like, dude, if we were just at the liberty to just speak in, if we could just clearly get the message across without having to like leave a lot of like gaps for people to figure things out and go and look up. But anyway, so on to that. Let's try to like get away a little bit from like that part of it, about the market itself, the effect that it had. And then how could I forget, dude, right after the sell-offs were going on, like everyone's account that had any kind of funds left in it, I guess, that were going to be retrievable if they were even stored on the exchange, or if the exchange even had custody of it, a hacker had taken the funds, right?
That's what I was gonna just say.
Dunked it on everyone and just pushed the price down lower. Do you think that what is your prospect right now, like short to mid term, I guess, on like what do you think is going to go on with like everything in the market right now?
Well, first, I just to go back for a second, I think when you were talking about the what their plan was for the exchange, I think maybe they were gonna rug the exchange, but I think the FTT dump kind of accelerated that rug way sooner than they anticipated, because they talked to just like you said, they had a back door to the exchange, right? So what if CZ bought it and then they rugged? Now they have the money. They have both money. They have it's like the best of both worlds. They double rugged.
Oh, Alameda was also like secretly what's the term I want to use? Whitelisted, maybe
Oh,
blacklisted from margin calls on there.
yep,
So
yep,
like they could basically just use kind of like unlimited leverage, and everyone else would get stomped out, and they wouldn't, because obviously they own that company. But anyway,
yep.
we were at like what was the price of, like, let's just about Bitcoin, because it's easier to like think about just one thing. What was it before? And it's like what, like $16,000 right now
Yeah.
per coin?
I don't remember what it was right before. It had to be at the
Like
$20,000
19,
mark.
20, I
Yeah,
think.
19
Yeah.
or 20. Yeah. It had to be, because people were just now getting a little bit despondent. They're like, "Oh, it's under," and that's when I remembered, "Oh yeah, it's under now." Okay.
You think it's over
Um,
with?
do I think the dump is over? I think
Yeah.
I think it's gonna dump a little bit more.
Dude, I still think that, like, I still think that I have no certainty for any kind of like stability in any kind of market like right now, period.
Mm,
I think obviously, I think in crypto's like the mother weffer's like favorite thing to, do their diddlies with. So I
mm,
think that's a kind of a given, I think. But uh I just can't help to go back to like some of the things that I've said a bazillion times in the last like year and a half. Like, these people, they don't they don't like people using crypto. They don't like people knowing about crypto, having access to crypto. They don't want people to know that it's kind of like meant to circumvent all these financial systems that were created, and like convenient for this to happen, and they want to push all this regulations yet again on it. I don't know. Am I being is that too doomerish of me, Yin?
no, that's on point. That's what that they want. I mean, you have to have people on the bottom for there to be people on the top, and these people have lived their whole lives on the top for the most part. So they want to keep the slave class slaves, and that's how they do it. They're gonna do the best they can to lift that ladder up. So when you see people trying to climb up and try to make it, and then they get rugged, that's them. I still think a lot of these rugs are them, to be honest.
You wouldn't be surprised.
I don't think that it's like, because there's no, I mean, it's supposed to be traceable. A lot of this stuff, you have an exchange. I mean, how come 90% of the time it happens, no one ever talks about it after that? Like, there's
Sure,
nobody
yeah.
slipping up, no
Yeah.
one got caught. I mean, come on. There's like one person who gets caught per year. I think that's a little too convenient. You,
Yeah,
I'm
right.
just saying.
Right. And they can go and find like well, I won't mention that on stream anyway. Alex is an interesting comment here. He says it's so clumsy and obvious. No shell companies, almost like it was meant to be discovered. No counting and no list of clients. Yeah, so the guy that went to apparently the guy that went in to go do like the liquidation triage and all that stuff for the Mr. Government uh said something along the lines of, I've never seen such lack of accounting. And he basically says he has to do an entire like forensic accounting investigation from the ground up, because he can't trust a single thing that on paper that these people that both Alameda and FTX was able to give him. So it's like, dude, like how does something get that? How did that organization go up to speed like that and like get all that wealth and all the attention and the power like almost overnight, and their books aren't even anywhere near real? It's not like it's like 15% of it's cooked. Like, none of the books are real.
Yep.
Makes you think, right?
Yep. It's a lot of the gatekeepers who normally would be. Yeah, there you go. Yep. A lot of the gatekeepers who
Wefers.
normally would be stopping it. They just kind of look to the side. Nope, everyone's at home. Nobody's coming into work that day.
Alex says, Belford said these are just kids over their heads. Odds so many are saying that. Scaramucci and Kevin O'Leary. Yeah. Well, the last two people that you mentioned too, I'm not so sure how much I trust them either. But yeah, they're just kids. They ignore all these other things that are going on and all the ties that are included into it. They're just kids. They just happen to like wake up one morning, slip on a banana peel, and next thing you know, they're like multi-billionaires that have all this money that don't even really have it. Just kids. It just happen like that. Come on, Yen. They're just kids. It happens all the time. Like, don't you remember that one time you slipped on a banana peel and you were an overnight billionaire success? Come on.
I don't remember ever slipping on a banana peel and finding myself in a polycule. Sorry, I don't think that. Sorry, I cannot recall.
Dude, you got me good on that. You got me good.
Oh man, it is what it is. I just listen now. I'm becoming a little. I'll tell you a secret. I'm getting a little paranoid myself now. If I, I'm just saying I can't say what I want to say, but I think you know what I'm putting down.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're putting down, my friend.
Before I didn't even know. Like, it's funny how that works. A year ago, I was kind of, like, oh yeah, but 2 years ago, probably completely oblivious to the whole thing. Now I'm like, oh, that's the first thing I'm checking on my checkbox. Nope, thanks. Oh man. Somebody in the other chat from another video, they said I think they said orbs, and I was like, yeah, the orbs, the orb, like when Trump was touching the orb. I probably shouldn't have said his name, my bad. When they were all touching the orb, the orange man, they all were touching the orb. I was like, yeah, they are orb people. They're all orb people. They're all orbitals. They all orbit each other. So yeah, I'm sure they like that too. I'm sure that's
probably, dude. This is the Weffer people are kind of like,
yeah, the Weffer people. Yeah.
So what are the repercussions of this FTX thing, man?
I think now more than ever, doing research about who's running the exchange, how long you're planning on keeping your money on there, what's your exit strategy look like, how much you're willing to lose, all that stuff. I think now that's going to become more of a conscious thing, checklist, as opposed to like an afterthought. A lot of people are going to have to learn this harsh lesson of not just doing your own research, but like consistently, having that conscience of, I'm putting my money in, I'm taking it out, or not even putting my money in,
not leaving it there.
Oh God, they're leaving it there. I won't say who, but there was a very big YouTuber who once told me that they have BlockFi and they leave everything, all their Bitcoin on BlockFi, all of it, and they got rugged. They got
how did that work out for him? God forbid that you do something like self-custody, the thing that was intended to be self-custodied.
Yeah.
By the way, I don't know if I put it in there. I probably did. I hope I did, because so I don't sound like an idiot saying this. But for people who know, link in the description box below. Seriously, there's a Trezor link in there. I'm not sure if it's still valid, guys, because I just copy and pasted the last couple stream links. But if it's not, I have a couple other ones. I don't know what you get for it. I think it's like 15% off of what the regular price would be. But listen, guys, even if you don't want a Trezor, go buy a Ledger, go make a paper wallet, go make your own hardware wallet. Don't keep your money on an exchange. I don't know how comfortable I feel saying this, but if I were me, if I were somebody, not me, if I were somebody and I happen to have, a good chunk of change in money, real money, I personally wouldn't feel comfortable keeping that in a bank right now either. Call me crazy, dude. And if you take a look at what's happened in the past, but I think that's probably going to be a potentially thing that might come to the forefront in the next maybe couple years or so. Mm-hmm. We'll have to see about that. I guess we'll have to make it past the current clown show, episode 99. But okay, so you just think that the regulations are going to get more stringent on the exchanges, and you don't really think there's going to be a whole lot of other repercussions aside from public influence dropping the price and all that?
Yeah, I think crypto, as far as the legalities and the regulations, they're going to be super tight. I think they're going to be I think there's going to be to the point where you can only have a certain amount purchased per week, per bi-weekly. I saw that too. I was like, every month or something. You probably couldn't even take out it's going to be like loans. You can't have a certain amount of money in crypto.
Canada's like that. There has been for a while.
It's kind of crazy. I don't know, man. I don't know if that's gonna work, because I think people who are the people who are really about it, who did well this time around, who are paranoid and always take the money out and always put it into something else. I think those people are gonna move with their feet. They're gonna go to other countries if they haven't already to do, because it is a way to make money. It's just, you know, how much about your own custody are you? You know, if you are a person who preserves capital a lot, then you probably would be fine. This is not a big deal. But if you're a normie, you know, normies are the ones who are getting hurt now. They're the ones who are really like everybody
Sure,
who's
yeah.
like in that environment, you know, and even like people in the advanced area, that in between space. Um, that's who the regulations are going to really hurt. These guys who are way up there, the elites of crypto, I think those guys are going to be, you know, always ahead of the schedule. They'll always find a new way to
They're the
hustle their
ones
way
who
up.
aren't happen to not be on the sanction list for Tornado Cash, and
Yup,
while
yup.
every other person would be.
I noticed that too. If you, I'll tell you the three things I noticed is if you are a scammer, you're fine. I don't know, it's so effed up. And then if you're not building anything, right? If you're just a venture capitalist, you're fine. And then finally, last but not least, if you are somebody who built something, you are going to be the number one. Yeah, you're going to be the target. If you're building things to help people, you're going to be a target, which sucks.
Yep.
So
very parallel to a lot of other things going on in life and things that have gone on in the last couple of years, is it not?
Yep. It's pretty on point with normal life now. Now I think that, and now at this point I think it's the same. You know, it's not that different from real life. Crypto is like regular now. We need a crypto for crypto.
Yeah, basically, dude. Well, dude, so what I'm worried about is the regulation being done at like the exchange level, because like, okay, you can even take ISPs and you can say like, we're gonna block access to like, you know, this and this, but everyone that's like 8 years old and older knows like there's a way around that, right?
Right.
You can block it from like the browser level, and you could say, oh, sorry, in the code that they put on the front end where the user's interacting with the browser, oh, you can't interact with this because you're on a no list. But like, they can't stop you from like utilizing the smart contract itself if you knew how to do that. Which, I mean, even the normal person, if they took like, if they had to, and let's just say they had to like, to, I don't know, pull a Sifu or something, and they had to like move $50 million of ETH on the fly, they could figure out how to do that in like a couple hours. But most people aren't going to want to do that, nor most people aren't really not going to get around to actually trying to do that, right? And where can they? And let's say that, and that could all be done anonymously too. And I guess I shouldn't have explained that too much, because besides the point, the anonymous part, the anonymity, so where can they find your information in crypto? Because and I know you know the answer, like where who gives the name?
Who gives the name of the of people's information? Their docs, you mean?
Well, yeah. So like, let's just say that you're Uncle Sam and you want to find out how much so and so has purchased or could possibly potentially have. Like, where would you start? Because you have a name. You're Uncle Sam. You have a name. What would you do?
You would go to their regular bank, figure out how much was taken out of their regular bank and to which exchange. Then you would go to that exchange, and that's who you bother. You bother them until you get that information, how much they bought, what's the address wallet. Now you got them. You know what their address wallet looks like. So now you know what whatever ties in, whatever addresses are tied to that other wallet. Now you can go ahead and figure out how much money they have, how where it's going, who it's going to, when, what they're trying to do, if they've been trying to wash their coins, if they use Tornado Cash, all that stuff you can figure out. Which I probably shouldn't have said Tornado Cash.
Dude, I've already had talk about it on stream before, but I was worried about it. I think that's probably like less on the importance level on the algorithm right now. The omnipotent AI algorithmic overlord that doesn't exist and is only in Minecraft. So we're totally just joking. But
totally.
Yeah, so that's exactly what they would do. They'd go get a warrant. They could, which we've already seen in the last couple of years, they could just basically get a warrant for anybody on anything if they want to, including like, you know, politicians too, big politicians, some that have been like, you know, president before, and many other things too. They can just get that on anybody. They go knocking on the door of the exchange. Hey, we know that you're not supposed to give out information, but here is the warrant. We're the federal government, so why don't you just bend over and take it? And then they give you the exchanges keep all that data. They did prior to, but they have to now. They have to keep all that data in a database somewhere. So you best believe your ass and your account and your social security number and everything you have is on a record, and every single transaction that you made. So how many times you bought this, bought that, sold this, where you sent it to, if you withdrew it to an external address, it's on there. They would get that address information and they would start trying to use. I mean, if you weren't like the brightest pea in the pod, or you just simply didn't care, and you just like directly withdrew your funds from your exchange to a single wallet right there, and they could like see it immediately. Like, hey, we know exactly how much this dude has. We know every other address he's interacted to or with this wallet. Or they, if you were like using like something you said, like a Mixer or Tornado Cash, then that would definitely like put definitely put a couple big fat speed bumps in their way. But if they really, really, if you were a serious concern and they had to do something, they would, be running some kind of like, they would find something that might be not 100% like, conclusive, but it would give them some kind of semblance of some kind of idea of where it might have gone. And all that starts because the whole problem from that stems from the exchanges, right? And I just think it's crazy that, again, back to the same topic for the third time, but seriously, it blows my fucking mind, dude. It blows my mind that crypto, at least in its inception with Bitcoin, like its intended purpose was to circumvent all that, right? And how can the average person get it? Well, where else can you get it? You got to get it from an exchange, right? I mean, I guess you could go get it from you could go the peer-to-peer route, and you can go give somebody cash for it, but no one would ever do that. That's a no-no, right?
No, that's terrible. Why would you? We don't do that here. That's terrible.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
I see a lot of normies. They're gonna comply with whatever the rules say, and that, as you should.
As you should.
That's what's gonna happen. I think in the next 5 years, unless something drastic changes the playing field, like if if crypto has crypto, then maybe things will be completely different. Maybe that'll change everything. But if the playing field stays the same, then I can see the regulations tightening up to a very exorbitant amount. I see it. I still see it as the ladder was pulled. These guys, they worked fast. I couldn't believe they had something going on during this bull market. I was kind of shocked that I knew something was up with FTX. I won't say his name,
Sam.
but yeah, I knew something was up. Well, yeah, both the same. I thought it was something else. Like FTX was kind of what do you call it? I thought they were trying to become a monopoly like Google, right? I thought they were going to become like the Google, and I thought that was the game plan. But apparently, I mean, no, it was just a Ponzi. That's crazy. So I think we all learn something new every day.
Yeah, and we might. I mean, we can make our own like little conclusions about it. I probably think similar of a story of what you think with that, but we might not ever really know, right? The best we can do is like look at some of the obvious evidence that's presented and just draw the best conclusion. But on that, yeah, I think it's gonna. I think that's probably drastically scarred some people's like public opinion about it. Yeah. And I would also ask, like, is there maybe something else that we missed on that? And I was asking this in my chat the other day when people were talking about it. Not everyone, but there was probably like 5 or 6 people in there like arguing about like what the intended purpose of all that was going on from the get-go was. And we know one of them, right? Like obviously it was to move money from a place A to place Z back into place A. What? But anyway, but I was trying to ask, I was like, what do you guys think is something else that maybe could have been like, because the part that it just came all undone I don't know. I don't know, Yin. I think you and me diverge on this thinking. I don't know if I don't know if that was like just an accident. Like to me, it's like how the fuck they the whole just kids thing. I don't know, but I
Yeah.
guess we might not ever find out. Maybe we will. But on to the same. So, speaking of crazy, giant, rich tech moguls, we
Mm.
didn't really get to talk about the Elon thing yet, or any of
Mm.
that stuff that's been going on. Twitter obviously laid off a bunch of people. Good or bad? What do you think?
Great. It's fantastic. And I don't even like Elon. I think it's great. This is gonna it's gonna change the play. It's Twitter hasn't been fun in years. And for the first time in like forever, it's actually enjoyable. You can actually go on there and get the information you want or read people's stuff, and it's interesting. My feed is not full of crap. It was it's listen, there's a reason why I stepped away from Twitter. I
Yeah,
hated
dude.
it,
Yeah,
man. You couldn't go anywhere. Everything was agenda, agenda, agenda. And like I said, my theory was it's designed to piss you off so you can have conversations and debates and fight people. I'm not playing into that psyop game. And or it's to get you to be emotionally, like, if you're for that stuff, emotionally invested and hit like on everything and salute people and all that stuff. I truly believe that it was designed as it became a little club for certain people, right? And now it's becoming run more like a business, like MySpace used to be, right? Not to bring old old social media accounts up, but MySpace was fun and it was making money, generally speaking.
yeah.
So I think it's a good thing. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so too. Like overall, as far as like for humanity, is it in the short term a good thing for like the tech like slash job like the job market? I mean,
No, probably maybe I don't know.
maybe I don't know, dude. I've been
Tough.
seeing and you know what I do with my kind of like second parallel business that I have
Yep.
with DD.
Yep.
So I've been paying attention to that, like meticulously this year with all like the tech layoffs and the job market going from like the same asinine volatility as the price of Walmart eggs. Um, I don't think that that's going to affect, like, I don't think Twitter itself is going to, people were like, oh my God, so many people are going to get fired and quit. And like, the economy is going to be destroyed. It's over. Dude, no, the economy is already fucking destroyed and it's already over.
Yep.
Forget about these like 4,000 people at Twitter that are no longer there.
Yep.
Y'all are nuts. And those people, they're probably like not as like talented as they might have been paid to be
Yes.
believing that they were, and I don't know if they're going to be going to contribute elsewhere. I'm sure. Look, I don't want to be like throwing a blind blanket statement out there. I'm sure that there was probably some solid engineers that walked away from that and or got fired, and they're definitely going to be like a useful like tool in the world somewhere, right?
Mhm.
But I can't guarantee it, but I'm willing to bet my left and my right little guys downstairs that 100% of them are not going to be like out there competing, like bumping shoulders for the job market. And
Yep.
here's another reason why. So, and I was talking to my group about this both last night and on last Sunday night that we had a webinar. Things are getting weird with a lot of places. There's still a labor shortage, man. And this isn't just in tech. This is like everywhere. And originally when the coup happened, when the thing
Mhm.
happened, there was like a labor shortage, right? And we know why. There's some free cash floating around, all blah 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 blah, a lot of stuff going on with that. And then the money got tight, like what, mid this year, right? When the economy started getting a little tight. I mean, you could argue it was back to like December of last year, but anyway, and so you would automatically think like, okay, everyone's going to try to go like find a job again. Everyone that wasn't working is going to get a job again. They're going to get multiple jobs, etc. And we saw that. And one thing that I noticed was that there were definitely like a lot more people fighting for all these positions, specifically for like software engineer positions, right? And that was like maybe a 2 or 3 month time period, and all of a sudden, like the like counter narrative is back again. It's like, hey, there's people that can't find anyone to apply for a position.
Yep.
Somebody that I know, normally when they would put a open role for a software engineer at their company, they would get like 20, 30. applicants in like the first day, and they had this position open for 2 months. The last 2 months, and they got only 4 people applied to it, and of those 4, 0 showed up to the interview.
Oh
And
my God.
yeah, and so that's I can't explain that, and I don't have a like theory on that yet, because and again, that's something that I pay very close attention to. That really doesn't make sense to me what's going on, because the economy is not good, right? You want to be taking up more work. I'm even taking up extra contract work myself. I'm trying to like work overtime and trying to like get as much of that cashola as I can. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And it doesn't make sense to me, man. I will say though, for people who are on like kind of like the like entry level spectrum of like at least tech and software part, they're gonna have a harder time right now, but they're never gonna have the easiest time anyway, because they're beginners competing with people who are, you know, more experienced with them. But
Yep.
this appears to not just be a problem in like tech and software, which might I add was supposed to be one of the sectors of the economy, or it apparently is like the most amount of layoffs, the craziest, blah blah blah. I mean, Walmart can't find workers right now. Ask
Yep.
Christian Ditto. They're having problems with that. The car dealership that my parents went to today to pick up the truck that they just bought, like they just bought a brand new fucking truck, and like we walk in there and like no one greets you, no one says anything. And this is down here, like where people are like kind and nice, not like Miami, because no one was there, dude. There was like no one in there, bro. Not a single person. They were like back. There was like a couple people like way back in the back rooms. You had to like come out there and like scream at him, like, "Hey, we're here!" Like service department. Like my grandma had her. I actually took my grandma's car into a different car dealership service department 2 days ago, and they're so disorganized, and the amount of people working there was so sparse that they didn't even know that they had to order parts for this thing. So they told my grandma that they were going to have it done by today, so I could go pick it up, blah blah blah. And they don't find out until today that they didn't even have the parts needed to, like, stuff like that. There's nothing. Remember when I told you at the beginning of the stream I was getting kind of doomerish?
Yeah.
Well, dude, like it seems like nothing works anymore, man. And like a year ago, and you can ask Sam Perchinsky in the chat when Nixon talked to him, he'll tell you, dude, like a year ago, me, him, a couple of the other boys, we used to be laughing at this show, be like, look at this is haha, like honk honk, nothing works, it's broken. And now it's kind of like after a year and a half of like laughing at the fact that everything's like not working, it's like okay, this joke's not funny anymore. Can everybody like, can we be normal again? Can you guys stop?
Yeah. The work ethic and the people who are skilled, the skill ratio versus non-skilled is skewed badly. It's skewed badly. You can't even like you. I went the other day to Costco, and my girl was buying one of those chicken bakes or something like that, and they were all burnt, every single one of them. And I'm like, what's happening here? And I'm telling you, man, the look on their face, the glazed look in their eyes. Now, some people they say it's the wax. I don't know.
So yeah, I've noticed that too. Yo, dude, so you're right, dude. It's not just the lack of people too. It's like people got something like
something wrong. Like the way they're reacting is not. It's almost inhuman. And it's like that. What is that called? The uncanny valley. I was looking at her like, we gotta go. Like right before something happens, like in a horror movie.
There's definitely something sus about the wax, but to be fair, I was noticing that in people in like 2019, like slightly pre-wax, like when the coof was going down.
Oh no!
And it was kind of like people were just like didn't care about it. It was less like incompetence, but it was more. There was definitely like some incompetence there, but it was more like people just, hey, like everything's locked down. We don't care. Fuck you, kind of thing, you know. But you're right, dude. I wasn't thinking about that when I was talking about what I said earlier, because it's not just the lack of people; it's the the competency level as well. What is your theory on the? We know the theory on the competency level. What's the theory on the lack of people, the lack of workers in the workforce?
I don't know where they're. I have my own theories, but I don't know where they went. It's like there's more people. It's the same thing as like more people at home.
Where are they home? I don't know, dude.
I don't know. It's hard to tell.
Every time I come to New Orleans, it's like there's half as many people as there was last time.
Yep.
I'm like, what?
Yep. But for some reason, it's like it's got the opposite effect of like Costco or whatever, because they're always there. There's no like slow time anymore at like grocery stores and stuff. It's always packed now because of the
Why do you think that
people are
is?
working from home. Because people, I think people are like, when they're remote, they just go to the grocery store.
Guilty, dude. I'm guilty. For real. There's a
And
whole,
some people, I
in,
think
in
they
my
still
condo.
somehow go ahead.
I was gonna say in my condo, there's a Whole Foods a block away. So
Mm.
like I can't tell you how many times I'm like, I want to go drink. I'm just gonna walk down there.
Go for a walk. Yeah, I think also like I think because of that, I think some people still get this, not the stimmy, the national stimmy, but I think some states give some sort of what do they call it, like a stimulus but for the state, unemployment. I don't
Booster
understand it.
stimmy.
Yeah, I think so. I think people are getting an extra check because I'm just seeing more people come in. No matter which state I go to, it's like I see more people in grocery stores and in places in like food places than anything else. Um, Not so much in like outside or at the mall, more so in like the food places. Maybe that's like a thing. I don't know. Maybe they're just buying to fill the void. I don't. I have no idea.
Matt W's comment, the 1,000 gem stare. I
The
didn't want to
1,000.
highlight it, but I already read it, so whatever.
That's great.
You know where he's getting that from? The 1,000 whatever stare from
Yeah.
replace the word jab. Yeah,
I
it's
love
kind
it.
of like that though, dude. Like
Mhm.
it kind of is. So okay,
Accurate.
do you think I told you I was gonna have to ask you a couple times, Yen,
Yep.
about my doomer level? Do you think I'm
Mhm.
too like am I insane? Am I just dooming,
Mm.
dude? I want to just be dooming. Can you tell me
No,
that
I
I'm
don't think you're
dooming?
dooming. I think you're on point. Which sadly I hate to say that because I think there's a healthy level, It's like a little healthy level of like
A little
you
healthy
know,
doom.
yeah, you have to have some realism. I color it as realism, and then doom is when you're thinking like it's the end of the world and it's today, tomorrow or whatever. We had somebody in our old chat, I forgot. He was always talking about how it's over tomorrow. It's over. I'm like, oh,
Tomorrow it's it. I was telling my dad that today, dude. Because dude, every time my poor boomer parents, dude, like they're still they still think things are and people are the way that they were, and that you can just like trust people and stuff. Like they don't know. And my dad will be like saying something that's indicating that these people obviously don't even care about you at all, as if like they don't care about your life, as if
mhm,
it's kind of like inhumane, as if they could
mhm,
just like I don't know run you over in a car and not care.
mhm.
I'm like thinking to myself like, Dad, like yeah, they don't like it's over, Dad. It's over. That's what I said. But like, dude, I hope I am just dooming, dude, because yeah, I don't know, man. People are people are stinky, dude. Stinky.
I agree. I agree.
Cody says you're dooming a little bit. Do thank you, Cody. I hope so, dude. I really fucking hope so, man. I hope so. And look, it's easy not to doom when there's no look. I'll tell you what. If you go back pre 2012,
Mhm.
very easy not to doom.
Right.
Very easy not to doom. It's
Right.
also easy not to doom if you just don't care, right?
Mhm.
And you can do that too. But you know what I was thinking, and that was kind of on the lines of like last year when I told you I would like laugh about it with Sam and stuff. It's like, I
Mhm.
don't give a shit. Fuck all these people. But now I'm like, you know what? I don't know. Kind of be nice to have like a nice, wholesome country again,
Mhm.
with people who have nice, wholesome families and people aren't like crazy. And
Mhm.
the economy isn't like changing the price of eggs plus minus 75% on a daily basis.
Plus
But hey,
minus. Yep.
maybe we just gotta incorporate with the eggflation. Maybe we should just just get jiggy with it.
Yeah. I'm gonna wake up one day and start a farm. F it. that's when I reach my bottom, like my full doom level. I'm like, all right, I'll just start rugging society.
That's the plan, dude. That's my plan, dude. I got it in my genes. I got it in my DNA, dude. I gotta go. I knew something was itching, something was missing the last year. I gotta go water my crops, and I'll come up to you, Yen, and I'll be like, Yen, it's been a good crop season, Yen. We're gonna have to tend to our crops again this fall, and et cetera, et cetera. I hope I hope I can come up on here with a like a farmer Fran attire and I'll do it instead of doing it live from the truck. I'll do it live from the actual farm. But no, seriously though, I've been looking into having another real estate purchase because, like, dude, honestly, the prices of everything looks just way too juicy compared to like what they were 2 years ago. And I don't want to keep going on another tangent, but it's funny how that is, dude, because like, you know, 2 years ago when the prices of real estate were like skyrocketing,
Yeah.
everyone suddenly wanted to go buy. And now when all this stuff is like in comparison, like way cheaper, it's like no one wants to buy. Maybe they can't. Well, obviously some of them can't.
Probably can't. Yeah. The money problem. And also because a lot of people probably had their money in places like a lot of
Celsius.
yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. They got rugged out. And Luna Terra, I don't forget that. That probably liquidated, I would say 60% of all crypto. Because I couldn't think of a single person outside of out of our small circle. I can't think of somebody in crypto who didn't have like some sort of allocation in the Anchor protocol.
I did.
Yeah. Oh, you did too?
I
Okay.
didn't get wrecked though, dude. When I bought
Yeah.
that Bronco, I pretty much used like 90% of what I had in Anchor right
Smart.
before, and I was like, dude, I'm leaving like a tiny bit. I wish I just took it all out, but dude,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, it was painful for me to take that out to go and buy that car, dude.
Now you're looking like a genius.
Yeah, I know, right? I was like, I'm gonna regret this, dude. This is the price is gonna go up to like $10 billion tomorrow. I'm gonna regret this, but like, hey, it didn't work out that bad.
Yep.
Aurelian in the house says, but bro, everything is fine. TM. Yes, everything is fine. TM in Minecraft. Matt Debbie says, bro, my boomer dad bitched about the server not being chatty enough, even though he served us well. I'm like, Dad, nobody wants this job anymore, including you. And last year you were afraid to go out. Damn. Yeah, for real, dude. Sounds about right. Sounds about right, Matt. My dad wouldn't complain about servers being chatty, but that definitely does seem like a boomer thing to do. And that's another thing too. So like, you know, jobs like and you had mentioned something like this earlier on in the stream, Yen. Jobs like being a server or being like a fast food worker, dude, back in my day, failures, dude, people who worked in fast food, they were like kids in high school.
They were.
Because they needed the work and it was like good money to them. And it was like not disgruntled 40-year-olds who clearly don't want to be there. Same thing with the server thing. I mean, obviously, like definitely like servers kind of like maybe more of like in transition type of like job where you get or like, you know, you can moonlight as a server, but like, yeah, most people probably don't want to be there. Cody Moose says the ultimate doomer has arrived.
I think also the internet kind of made it hard to because people know now what they didn't know before, like what you could do for a living, right? You know, all these influencer jobs, OnlyFans, Twitch. I mean, arbitrage on Amazon, eBay. Like it's like when people know, it's like that knowledge is it stirs you in a little bit when you're like, I'm flipping burgers at McDonald's. I could be making money doing this other thing. Yeah. So I can see why people get a little dude, get a little perturbed.
Absolutely, it makes sense, man. Do you think that that they kind of messed up by letting the internet be a thing?
I think I think they saw. So it's I call it the greed paradox, where where you see dollar signs and then you didn't realize you just rugged yourself out of the control. So they did not look at it from a control perspective. They looked at it from a money perspective, how much money they can make. So that's why now they're regretting it, but they're trying to like pull everything back in, which I don't think you can. I mean, the only way you could do that is if you stop these big corporations from existing. Like you stopped Amazon, you put a foot on the neck of Amazon and Twitch and all these other types of money makers.
What would they do? They'd have to go underneath, like, I mean, due to all the fiber optic cables, like deep in the ocean, connecting all like the continents together. Someone would have to go and like rug all those cables, right?
I think they would. I mean, that's definitely that's way too much work. Yeah, that would stop them. I think they're gonna try to do the. I think the future is trying to stop. What do you call it? Those the money processors, the payment processors. I think that's what's going to be the war, the next war now of control is through the payment processors. Because I've seen YouTubers get rugged through the payment processors, right? They're no longer able to do business with whatever bank they're working with. MasterCard says no, or Visa or whatever. So I think that's probably where things are going to go next. Especially with crypto, like, oh, MasterCard no longer works with whatever exchange.
Yeah, or you just like you off ramp like $10,000 into your bank account, and your bank's just like, hey, here's your anonymous letter. We have to discontinue your account for no apparent reason, but it just happens to conveniently be after that one time that you did that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Aurelian said, but Yin, George said Luna was going to moon. Yes, everyone believed George. Great technocraft firewall. Yeah, I mean, just I don't know, just into the woods. That's my plan. Get the farm started up. Y'all think I'm lying. Y'all think I'm crazy. Y'all think I'm crazy and I'm lying. And hey, I'm one of those two things, but I ain't lying. Okay, I ain't. I back to the thing about the land thing. I've been looking at a couple places. I just missed an opportunity. I had a deadline on the 21st, which sucks, but it was a really cool place. It had a spring on it. Here, I can show you guys a picture. I'll show you a little picture, but that's the next thing I want to do. And I think what I'm going to do is, instead of buying another house, like a quote unquote primary residence, I think that what I'd like to do, my car just started moving and all on its own. That's not sketch at all. What I think I'd like to do is just kind of like toss some money on some land somewhere. Check this spring out, dude. It's like crystal clear water. TM.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's nice. That is nice.
But I don't have to worry about maintaining a house there. I can take my time to build it if it's like zoned properly, or I could just kind of make it like a hunting lodge. And you know, if I want to go like put some stuff in there in storage, I could. And that way, the value of it is based off of the land, not so much like, hey, it's in this neighborhood with this like house on it. Obviously, prices are still going to be like subject to volatility, but real estate, I guess you could say, is maybe like the least volatile downward, except in 2008 and this year.
Yeah.
Market. But out of that, what I'm like pondering on is the possibility of if that is even going to be even less volatile with like something like land. So, and what would I do with it? I don't know. Grow some food, buy like a chocolate cow or two, because like, you know, maybe if something bad did happen and I had to go live out there, I need my chocolate milk, right? Like I gotta have my chocolate milk, got the chocolate cow. Dude, you know, apparently like 40% or something ridiculous of like Zoomer kids think that chocolate milk comes from like a chocolate cow.
Are you serious?
I've heard that from 3 different people. I haven't looked it up. If you're watching right now live, or you're watching on the playback, look it up. Let's see.
Oh my God, dude. That's hilarious. I remember a Zoomer a while back. First time she was drinking what is it? She had sushi, but she also drank organic milk, which I don't think that's ever a good idea back to back because of the digestion system. Yeah, they had to pump her stomach. I was like, welcome to the real world. You got to be careful how you consume things.
Yeah, like, for sure. Dude, especially in 2022, man.
Yeah.
Matt W says, I'm purchasing a homestead soon. Yeah, Matt, that's basically the plan. That's the plan. Cody Moose in the Who says, I saw 20 acres in Idaho that's actually in reach in a few years. Hopefully, dude. Hopefully, you know what, guys? Like, what's the worst part of like, let's say you fortified yourself enough to kind of try to be as least affected by all this like financial craziness going on right now. The worst part is like, what, we can buy cheaper stuff. You know, is that bad? Is that Florida, Josh? Yeah, it's the Panhandle. Josh, the Owen Bear Tech Chief. Erling says predictions on when the everything bubble will pop. Yen, do you have an answer for that?
Something bigger would have to happen for the everything bubble to pop.
Like what?
Like a real bank actually going up in flames, like what is it, JP Morgan Chase or Bank of America, and then it would have to like cascade into everything else. Another war, if it like actually affected our economy in a way, like if it was like if we had another 9/11, pardon my French, I probably shouldn't have said 9/11, but But yeah, if we had something that affected Wall Street directly, like New York, any of those,
What if what if
something like
FTX
that.
what if FTX ends up being that catalyst? That'd be nuts, dude.
I mean, if it is, they're covering it up real good because I haven't seen anything that really has perked my ears up as far as
Yeah. No.
The prices crashing or going up like crazy. I'm just worried I'm gonna wake up and go to the grocery store one day and see that eggs are an ETH or something. You know what I mean?
No, dude. Please no.
I'm not gonna lie. I might have angry black man moment. I don't know.
Oh my god, no, I'd join you with that too, dude. I would join you, man. 1 ETH for a crate of eggs, son. You gotta be out of your mind. Dude, I would. I have to. We might have to start resorting to taking this stuff and getting out of there.
I'm just gonna have my own chickens.
Dude, yeah. Hey, chickens are actually cheap and easy to like maintain. And dude, chickens are like $5 for a live chicken. Now, a special frizzle chicken might run you like $7 to $12, but a regular chicken, $5, dude. Spark 55 in the house says, in the short term, shit probably going to be fucked up, but long run, history has shown, even after great empires collapse, times do improve eventually. Yeah, I definitely think that we have the ability to do so. It's going to require a little bit of elbow grease and a little bit of people like learning some stuff they either never knew or just forgot. And also, we might have to dismantle the private banking system. I'm just kidding. And then he also says Taiwan or some other insolvency with bank image. Yeah, something like that. Something like 2008-ish, I guess, would require. Maybe the cyber pandemic. Maybe, dude. Yeah, maybe like what if because we know that and yeah, and I know we're going on time here, but I'll make this one last point. We know that there is not an actual amount of physical dollars, which physical dollars essentially kind of like worthless anyway, right? By principle. Obviously it's not worthless because you could buy things with it, but in principle it is. There's not an equal amount of like physical dollars per all the balances for everything and all these accounts, right? And that basically when you take out a loan, you basically are creating money instantly, right? So let's just say we had a major like cyber pandemic or blackout, all these records on all these banks got like permanently erased. I mean, I guess I could see that being like cataclysmic, and I guess it could be used as an excuse to maybe push some kind of other type of currency on us. I don't know. Banks are basically insolvent anyway, says Spark. Yeah, for real. Early in the year 2030, 1 dozen eggs equals 1 ETH, dude. That's not even a funny joke. Eri in the house. What's up, man? Good to see you.
Oh, man.
And Matt says, might dig a root cellar for an off-grid fridge. Just use salt, bro. TM. All right. Again, it was a good stream, dude. We ran an hour and 12 minutes, and I was an hour and like 12 minutes late. Do you have any words of advice, any parting words of advice for the audience?
Don't get too doomed, okay, guys? It's not healthy. Go consume something healthy. Go watch something from back in the day. There's like a bunch of YouTube videos that show you like what times were like back in like the the 20s, the 30s, and the 40s. Someone has a picture. What's that?
The older days.
Yeah, the older days. Yeah, the golden years, as they say. I gotta find that YouTube video that shows you the LA and everything. It's beautiful. I want a time machine.
People in top hats and stuff.
Yeah, there's like fancy. I was like, oh wow, they look happier. You could see the happiness off of people. It's different. I mean, I'm not trying to be a negative Nancy, but I hate going to the grocery store or wherever I'm going. I'll see people wearing pajamas. I just can't stand that. Barefoot, pajamas. Just something about it just bothers me, man. I don't know about you, but it's just something deep inside of me.
Yeah, I feel the same. Like you could at least not look like you just roll out of bed from a coma. But hey, 2022, dude, we got to be accepting of everyone and everything now, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. You cannot doom one doth not doometh forever, because hey, let's say that your biggest darkest fears are going to come true and you spent the entirety of it just dooming.
Mhm.
Well, if you're spending all the time dooming, you couldn't do anything to accommodate for yourself and just, set yourself up to where you wouldn't be able to have to be negatively impacted so bad as like the normies would be. So something I like to do, I love cars. I love cars. I love anything that has to do anything that has to do. I'm a motor junkie. Anything that has to do with that. I like that. I like going to the gym. I like to fish. I love to fish a lot. I have an addiction to it. Like sometimes I'll have to on my lunch break, I'll have to go drive 5 minutes and throw a line in the water for 2 minutes because it just takes my mind off it. I like to off road. I like to go for walks too. So honestly, just going for walks, that stops the doom.
Yeah.
Anything else other than just what we mentioned and maybe watching some older YouTube videos? Would you got anything else you do, Yen?
Right now the gym is become my, I don't know, man. I just basically made it into a religion at this point. I'm worried. I'm worried, dude. I'm worried that's where I'm gonna end up. Just have a place there. Just have an apartment there. F it. Just put a bed right there.
Move in.
Yeah, F it. I don't know. I would say, guys, definitely don't. I hate to say this, but try not to consume too much doom content. That's gonna help you a lot. I know a lot of even my channel, sometimes I'm trying not to, I try to focus on the stuff that when the quote unquote when we're winning, that's when I try to do more videos on that stuff. Yeah. I try to avoid and we lost again. I try not to be like that sports channel, it's a sports game or something. Yeah. I just try to not contribute to the dooming problem. It's tough. It's tough because then you lose the views, and that's the whole thing. I don't,
Dude, sometimes it's fun and nice to doom scroll. Sometimes it's
yeah, it is sometimes.
A little bit of a thrill. It's a
Won't
little
lie.
bit of a thrill.
Won't lie. When you see something so ridiculous and outrageous, I think my coping mechanism is comedy. It's humor. So when I see something so outrageous, so ridiculous, I turn it into a comedy act when I talk about it. I'm like, I can't not. Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard not to laugh at all the shit going on, dude.
It's pretty bad. Yeah.
Matt's got the same thing: hiking, trail running, etc. Send me some more pics of the trails, Matt W, in the Telegram chat. All right, Yin, it was damn good to have you on, dude. Everyone else, thank you guys for joining us tonight. We're gonna do it again, obviously, as always. But until then, learn to code, learn to change your own tire. Please, for the love of fucking God, self-custody your crypto. You don't even have to use the link that I happen to conveniently have in the description box below. And also, guys, stop dooming as much, obviously, a little bit, but that's it.
Take it easy, guys.